teacher's journey.
In 1902, John Dewey, philosopher, psychologist, and education reformer wrote, "The reality of education is found in the personal, face-to-face contact of teacher and child. The conditions that regulate this contact dominate the education situation." Almost 100 years later, Diane Hammond said the same thing about US schools. She wrote, "What matters most for students' learning are the teachers. Reform can never be enforced from top down." This was said in 1997. Ironically, 1997 was the year of our education vision, Thinking School, Learning Nation. Many here may remember that the vision started an era of top-down directives, initiatives, and frameworks, which we all know were meant to be reformative with the best of intent. Is the situation in Singapore the same as in the US? The report card on the successes of reform is not my concern. What I'm concerned with was, how did the teachers make sense of these reforms? Because, as Dewey and Diane Hammond pointed out, they are the ones who dominate the educational situation. They are the ones who matters most to students. In my inquiry on how teachers make sense of and respond to reform post-1997, I used ethnographic data gathered from 90 minutes interviews and 150 pages of transcriptions. The data revealed that teachers engaged in sense-making of reform, provided that they are designated champions of agents of change, provided that the school leaders mandate and drive the reform, provided that the reform resonates with their values and belief system, provided that the reform impact high-stake exams. Reform text was generally perceived as just another fetish activity to be tolerated. Now, what does this mean? Here, I will just highlight two less obvious but important implications. First, because each teacher is unique, the multiple ways of internalizing change must be respected and taken into consideration. It is not about unequal competency, capability, or capacity, but it is about controlling convictions. Second, for reform to be sustainable, it is not about the rationalization and the design, but the realization of measurable and observable outcomes. Any great reform that stops short of providing clear descriptors to tangible and observable impact will fail because teachers get lost in the doing, and the purposefulness will lose its legitimacy. In ethnography, although one sample often represents the voice of a collective group, I acknowledge that the sum total of voices represented is still small and insufficient. So the value here is that it points a direction and highlight factors for consideration should a more comprehensive qualitative research be done. I thank you.